Coming out to check the bale feeder quick here this morning before I head off to the big farm to get the combine ready to go. Got the two new mama heifers with their babies here at the bale ring. And then the one that hasn't had her calf yet is hanging out over there. She doesn't want to be up here with everybody else. And that is an indication that she might be having a calf pretty soon. In addition to the other signs that she's currently exhibiting, including a very swollen udder and general irritability when you approach her, I feel like we're probably going to have our last calf here at home, either today or tomorrow. But if I've learned anything over the last few years, it's that when you think you know something, you don't. Man, this new combine really goes down the road. It goes about 23.5 miles an hour. The one we just traded off went between 18 and 19 miles an hour, and that doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a big difference. We're going to get there in a hurry. So the moisture on this corn we're about to take out is going to be extremely variable. I'm sure we're going to have some at 16% moisture and some at 24% moisture. With this drought we had this year, it seems that soil type was the most important thing, and the soil that was able to hold water the longest, well, that corn's going to be the best. It's just going to be a matter of how much of it stayed alive and how much of it died early and what the blend ratio is going to be, but we're about to see. Here's a prime example right here. Look how green that corn is over there. Look how dead it is over there. That's going to make a big difference. Feels like a shame to get the combine so dirty when we're just getting started, but I guess it was going to eventually get dirty anyway. Well, I think we finally got the combine set where it's going to work on this field. This was the hardest combine setting adventure I'd ever been on. These cobs are very rubbery, kind of like uncooked hot dogs. And when they go through the rotor, everything just kind of mashes around and it doesn't want to take the kernels off the cobs. So we had to set this thing in a way that we never have before, running the rotor way faster than we're used to, running the concave clearance way smaller than we're used to. All right, so what am I talking about, concave and rotor? So the rotor is a big spinning cylinder with teeth on it inside the combine, and the concave is a big steel grate that sits underneath the rotor, and you can adjust the gap between the concave and the rotor. Now the idea is, as the corn goes through there, you've got that gap set that all of the ears of corn can't make it through the rotor with the kernels attached to them. So as they get spun through there, all the kernels get knocked off on their way through and they fall through the grate, and then the combine cleans the kernels and blows out all the junk that's not supposed to be in there. Well, the problem we have today is we have cobs that are this size, and we have oh, I dropped it. This was going to be a much better demonstration if I didn't just drop it. As you can see, these two cobs are vastly different in size. Now, when you got these two going through the combine at the same time, do you set the clearance for this one or for this one? That's the question you have to answer, and you can only answer that based on what kind of a job you're doing when you look behind the combine. Today, we're having to set it a lot smaller than we want to, and what's happening is we're grinding up the big cobs just to be able to get all the kernels off the tiny little cobs. So that's what we have to do. Unfortunately, it makes it a lot harder for the rest of the combine to actually clean out those chunks of cobs because there's so much junk in the corn to deal with. We're getting a few little chunks of cob in the hopper, but there's really nothing we can do about that. We need to get all the corn off. We definitely don't want to be leaving 10 bushels out on the ground here. For one thing, it's a lot of money, and for another thing, it'll start to grow and all the neighbors will make fun of us. Man, thank goodness for auto steer. This dust is getting crazy with the sun going down. It's almost impossible to see what's going on here. Well, I got home a little early tonight. The sun's still up. So I'm going to try hauling some manure. Switch it to low speed. I think I missed it. Yeah, there's low speed. Well, looks like it's going to be a nice sunny day. I think we're going to try this bean field today. It'd be really nice to get those in the bin before it gets to raining towards the end of the week. Just got started with harvest, and look at this machine. Yuck. All right, we're going to get into some corn first today because there's a pretty heavy dew this morning. We wouldn't be able to cut beans, and we're not 100% sure they're ready. Let's get at it, see what happens. Look at this good-looking cart driver, huh? Well, there's no dust in that mirror, and all the dust in this mirror. So you know what that means? The wind's picking up. We'll do another load or two of corn and switch over to beans, see if it's gonna work. Well, we're cutting beans 35 feet at a time here. Well, here comes my wife with a big old load of beans. This wind is unbelievable. Well, it's been a good day so far. The beans have gone really well. It's about 8 o'clock at night. I think I'm gonna get one, maybe two more loads of beans hauled in, and we're probably gonna call it a night. Look at this, you guys. First real frost we've had. It's a good one. Man, it's a dusty booger today. You guys, I'm not really sure where I am right now. If it weren't for the GPS, I'd be lost. Thank goodness for auto steer and air-conditioned cabs. Well, we're on to a different field tonight. Thankfully, the dust is not as bad. We're still making a lot of dust, but the wind is just helping us out, taking it away. All right, I got something really cool to show you. Look at this. On the screen here in the combine, I've got a live camera feed inside the clean grain elevator, which is right before the grain goes into the tank. So I can see what the quality of the grain looks like. I can make adjustments based on what I'm seeing. Back in the day, you could only see the grain sample in the tank up until it got above the window. This combine also has the capability to watch this sample itself and make adjustments automatically without my input. I'll show you that later. Well, we've had a good couple of days cutting beans. I'm gonna make about 2 more rounds here and call it a night. Well, I was right. She was getting close. It's been a couple of days since I made that prediction, and she had this cute little heifer calf yesterday morning. So they've been locked off separate for 24 hours now, and just letting them back with everybody else now that they've got to know each other a little bit. Hey, you. Thanks for hanging out. See you next time.